welcome to Poetry Changes Lives. Poetry in History and a Thought for the Day in this book every day of the year. Poetry, wonderful poetry, not mine, I may say, other people's, Shakespeare, Shelley, Tennyson, all the greats, Walt Whitman. Today it's going to be Vachel Lindsay. Well, this poetry book with a thought for the day, I find it really helpful to my mood each day, actually, to read a poem. I find it really puts me in a good mood. That's the power of poetry in action for me, and I recommend it to you. Just try reading yourself any poem and check your mood before you start, and then check it afterwards and see if there's been a change at all. I think you might find there has been, because poetry can change our mood very much, usually for the better, I may say. I used to think only a glass of whiskey would do that, but not anymore. On this day, I'm going to demonstrate. Today I feel okay, but I hope I feel better at the end of this. Today, on this day in 1829, a very remarkable man, William Booth, founder of the Salvation Army, was born. After years of work as a traveling Methodist preacher who was simply trying to help the poor, Booth one day realized that he and his helpers were, in effect, a kind of army. And so he began to organize them on military lines, calling himself the general and giving others appropriate ranks and uniforms. And he adopted popular songs as strident marching songs, giving them Christian themes, so as he put it, the devil should not have all the best tunes. And within a few years, the Salvation Army was a real brand, as they call it these days, a real force to be reckoned with, and a worldwide influence that still thrives today. I am a huge admirer of the Salvation Army. They really, do what they say they're going to do, and they dedicate themselves to just simply helping other people. And what can be more admirable than that? I just, people who are prepared to give themselves in such a way to others, always I find extremely moving, and the power of example is so great. Well, General Booth died in 1912, aged 83. His Salvation Army was by then a massive worldwide force. At his funeral, 40 Salvation Army bands marched, and 10,000 Christian soldiers followed behind his coffin. What a great sight that must have been. Well, I'm going to read part of a poem written by Vachel Lindsay on that occasion. It's called Above the Battle's Front. Vachel Lindsay, of course, was an American poet, who died, I think, in 1931. He was famous for what he called singing poetry, kind of chanting poetry, which is really quite effective. I like it very much, actually. His poetry was often very designed to be very inspirational and emotional in that way. It wasn't often very tender or subtle, but it gave a very positive message. And this, I think, gives a positive message too, above the battle's front. See what you think of this. St. Francis, Buddha, Tolstoy, and St. John. Friends, if you four as pilgrims, hand in hand, returned the hate of earth once more to dare, and walked upon the water and the land, if you, with words celestial, stopped these kings for sober conclave ere their battle great, would they for one deep instant, then discern their crime, their heart rot, and their fiend's estate. If you should float above the battle's front, pillars of cloud, of fire that does not slay, bearing a fifth one within your regal train, the Son of David, in his strange array, if in his majesty he towered toward heaven, would they have hearts to see or understand? That's a pretty bitter, contemptuous comment on what he saw as the wicked kings and leaders of his time who refused to listen to the counsel of wiser, more kinder people, and people he's referring to are those bent on wars. And of course he'd lived through World War I and greatly feared, as was due to happen, that a further war was going to take place. Vachel Lindsay was a kind of a prophetic poet, and a powerful one as well in his own way. He's not terribly well known or even admired these days, but he certainly had a message to put over, and poetry comes in so many forms. I think he did a good job personally. Today I remember with gratitude the work of William Booth and his army. William Booth, undoubtedly a very fine, admirable man, a man that very few people have bad words to say about then or now. I think anybody who dedicates their lives in such a positive way to doing good in the world and helping other people cannot fail to have my admiration. And I think the Salvation Army today is one of those remarkable forces. It's one of the few things in my life that has remained a constant force for good. And I am really awestruck and full of admiration at that. Other forces for good, I suppose you could say poetry is one on the whole, though not sadly always. And there are others as well. I think, quite honestly, certain religions have that force for good as well. Today, I wish you well and hope you have a good day. Thank you for listening.